So this afternoon's video is a bit different. We're talking to Jayson from Apex FBA Services, and it's all about prep centre. Hi, Jayson. It's all about prep centres. Now, as you all saw maybe from my post, I serve prep. My kitchen is full of boxes and all sorts, but that's a personal choice for my business model. And I know there are lots of you out there who want to use a prep centre, maybe want to try a different prep centre, or travel. And if I started using the prep centre, Jayson is definitely where I would go. I've known Jayson for quite a while through other groups. So we're just going to have a chat today, answer some of your questions, and see if we can educate you a little bit about the world of prep. So hi, Jayson.
Hiya.
So if I was brand new to a prep centre, tell me a bit about what you actually do. What's a prep centre do that you don't get from home?
I'm amazed how many FBA sellers are out there who don't know what an FBA prep center is. So to educate you, it's a means of scaling your business. It allows you to prep more than what you normally would on your own. It allows you to prep, products that are going to be sold in a different country to where you are. It's a matter of scale. So if you're doing everything from your home, you may hit a ceiling as to how much you can possibly prep, even if you do get a bit of help in. If you're a slow seller, so it may be that you're at the opposite end of that scale. So if you're selling on Amazon very casually, it may still be in your best interest to use a prep center, because you're only paying for the storage that you use, and you're only paying for the prep that you use. It's not maybe in your best interest to have tons of prep gear and tons of prep supplies lingering around the house when you're only making a shipment every month or two.
So who's the prep center? Who's perfect for a prep centre? Because this group is a big friend of Vlad, and he's based abroad. He doesn't live in the UK, but he uses a prep centre. So what sort of person would want to benefit from your service?
That you've hit the nail on the head there. So I think that the one person who's going to benefit the absolute most is somebody who's not living in the country that they're selling in. So I work with a few people in the likes of Scandinavia and the Netherlands who want to sell products in the UK. But they're still supplying, they're still getting their products supplied from the likes of China and even the US. And they get shipped to the prep center in the UK, and obviously everything gets prepped. It gets shipped off to Amazon, and they don't touch it. They don't see a single thing. So it's completely off their hands. It's fully managed for them.
Okay, so I'm a bit of a control freak. So the idea of like not seeing the products, not checking the boxes aren't dented, checking the colors are right. Do you do all of that then? Is that something?
Absolutely. So one thing, the first thing that happens when a delivery arrives at the warehouse is we've got a computer system set up with a barcode scanner, so that even if we don't need to expect this delivery, we don't need to know what we're expecting to, what you're delivering exactly. Everything's going to get scanned anyway. So once it's all been scanned, every individual thing, it gets inspected for damage or defects. Wow. And then the computer system automatically generates a report for you, and that gets sent to you in the form of a PDF, breaks down everything that's arrived, right down to the very single unit, all the barcodes and even Amazon descriptions and ASIN numbers, you all get pulled off Amazon itself. And so you get a nice little PDF report, which you can then marry up to your order sheet or your delivery note and compare it. And in some cases, there's a few discrepancies, like there's a few missing items of this, or the odd damaged item here. And if there is some damage, I've just worked with one customer of mine actually just yesterday whose delivery came in and there was a few damaged items. His report really helped them when forwarded onto his supplier, because there would normally be a load of paperwork for him to fill in. And with this report, he just gave them the report and said, here, this is from the prep center. This is the damage they've report, and I'll provide pictures and full damage report with that as well.
Wow.
So it can save you a lot of hassle.
Really, really hands off then, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe if someone works full time and this is like a side hustle, would that work for someone like that as well then?
Can't imagine anybody who it would work more for, to be honest.
Wow.
I'm an Amazon seller myself, and when I started, I was trying to fit it around the full-time gig, and it's handy that I had I've got access to a warehouse. It belongs to the family-run business, and there's a lot of unused space in it. So it's just something I started doing from there. It's handy that I had that space, because I wouldn't have been able to blow it up to the size that it is now without it.
So how long's your prep centre been going for? Are you brand new? Are you open to clients? That's the question, because some of them are closed. I know some of them have
double barrel question, really, because like I just said, I've sort of been doing everything for myself in the same space since I started a few years ago. And it's really helped me to scale things up. And because you can get I started with getting a few members of staff in there just on a casual basis doing my prep for my shipments, and then a few other people started getting involved. Some people who I've partnered up with online, you're getting to know through the groups and stuff. We've bought things together, sourced things together, and it's always just been shipped to my place. And then they end up just shipping everything that they sourced to my place and allowing me to prep it for them. So
It's kind of
how long
accidental.
it's been going for on a very casual and unofficial basis? Yeah, the whole 2 years. But only recently I've sort of tried to sort of go in a new direction with this and trying to push it as a whole new business and with its own brand. So in that sense, only really a few months.
Okay, but so if several people in the group decided they wanted to prep, or after Q4 or in Q4, you can handle several people coming to you and
absolutely, I'm all ready for Q4. I'm picking up customers all the time, and I like to start a business with the end in sight. So with scale in mind. So I've got everything in place. I've got the space I need. There's plenty of storage in the warehouse, plenty of prep space and prep supplies, all the equipment I need. I've got the staff I need. I've got everything I need to really scale this thing up.
Customers, awesome. So
Yeah.
Does it matter where you are compared to your customers? So I know you're in the northeast, aren't you? If I've got someone down in Penzance who's interested in the prep centre, do they need to find someone local, or how would it work?
I'm in a beautiful area of the northeast, right in the heart of Northumberland, right in the countryside. But it does not make any difference where I am.
Okay.
It's you're sourcing products from your suppliers. You're using my address as your shipping address, so your suppliers are shipping to me. I'm receiving them, I'm prepping them, and I'm sending them to Amazon. You don't need to see it or touch it. So it certainly doesn't matter to you where I am.
Okay.
All you need to know is that I've got the capacity to receive deliveries on a lorry. I've got a forklift, nice big warehouse. I've got the means of unloading the lorry. So it actually just yesterday, even the customer just mentioned it's a good job. I've got those means because he wasn't expecting his delivery to arrive on a pallet. It was only about £750 worth of toys, and in his mind's eye, it was just a few boxes worth, but it ended up arriving on a pallet. So
oh wow,
it would have been pretty stuffed if he had that delivery sent to his house, his residential address. He would have been pretty stuffed.
I can't take pallets, and I've got to be very careful because I ship from home. So if somebody, because there's a lot of talk recently about pallets, and that's a very cost-effective way to send. So if somebody came to you with a scale, could you handle sending out pallets? Obviously, you receive them, but if there was an Amazon seller who was big enough to send pallets rather than boxes, would you be able to?
Right, I prefer to do things on a pallet. To be honest, it's so much easier. Yes, there's a bit more work involved. Seller Central is really good for sending off small shipments through UPS to make it really easy and convenient for you, especially if it's just mixed items, mixed SKUs in a box, up to 15 boxes, or like case packs up to 200 boxes. That's quite neat. But if you're sending pallets, it becomes a bit more complicated. But it fits right within my routine at the warehouse. It fits right within the systems I have in place in the prep room. So it's something I prefer to do, is to prep a pallet rather than having a ton of boxes to do.
But if someone's quite new and they're only shipping maybe 3 or 4 boxes a week or 3 or 4 boxes a month, and Prep Centre is right for them, are you happy to take a customer who's got 1 box who has like stuff in drips and drabs? I mean, what about storage? What about storage?
Absolutely.
So if someone only has like maybe 5 or 6 items arrive, and it's going to take them a week or 2 to fill a box, how would you go? Would that be something?
Yeah, so this is storage. I want to make it as easy as possible for my customers. So even if you're one of the customers who pays nothing per month, because there are some monthly membership fees you can pay to give you extra benefits and to bring prep prices on individual items down by a little bit. But there's one thing I give to all my customers is a certain period of free storage. So even if you're not paying a monthly membership fee, I give you 30 days worth of free storage. So if you are say an online arbitrage sourcer, and you are sending products to my warehouse in drips and drabs, it does get put into your allocation of storage, and it can sit there for up to a month before you have to start paying any fees on it. So most of the people I know who do online arbitrage are sending shipments into Amazon pretty regular, at least once a month. So you should never really have anything floating around the warehouse for more than that period. And if you do, then the storage fees I've kept them pretty low.
That's really kind. So obviously, like it's very interesting with the pallet thing, but actually, it's probably quite a few people who are on the earlier scale, end of the scale, and the prep centre shouldn't be something daunting. You're not
No.
you're not going to laugh at people who send in 5 items or something.
That's where I began. And so I want to keep this true to my values, in that I want to appeal not only to the big, I mean, I do have some pretty big sellers who are sending in literally tens of pallets every month. But where I began was just doing a little bit of retail arbitrage, sending off a box or two at a time.
You still remember your first item you ever sourced?
It's incredible. It was just one box, and I did it from this room right here.
Wow.
And I was, yeah, I mean, it wasn't long until I moved everything to the warehouse, but even then it was just a box or two at a time.
Yeah.
And it was exciting.
Yeah,
But
you always remember that first ship. Always. That first sale. You never forget. I remember I had £50 in Tesco's, and a husband who said to me, if it doesn't work, you're not going to be having any more money. So I had 50 quid, and I bought 10 items for a fiver, put them in a box, and I had loo roll to kind of fill the box up because it wasn't even full. Sent it in, and off we went. And
it hardly seems worth it now, does it?
I know,
like
it's mad how you grow, but yeah. So
yeah.
Okay, so you do with big sellers and little sellers.
Absolutely. I'd like to cover the whole range of sellers. Yeah.
Perfect. So you said it doesn't matter where you are. Does it matter where the people are? What happens if someone's traveling? Can they log in anywhere? Have you got a system where they can, or do they just send it to you, or how does it work?
So not the website. So like I mentioned before, when I receive a delivery, everything gets scanned and checked in. You get a report and a PDF, but also what happens is everything that you've sent gets checked into your, what I call Apex inventory. So you can log into your client area on the website, and you can see, it's like a little shop that's unique to you. You can see everything you've got in stock, and you can go down that list and click everything off, select which ones you want to send to Amazon, and just, it's like adding to basket, but it's basically request to prep. And within 48 hours, the items that you've selected, you'll be notified as well of what prep is required on those items, and therefore how much you need to pay. So you'll just say, all right, add to basket, and you'll be charged for the prep fees, and then I'll receive the request to get it all sent off for you.
So it's kind of hands off and hands on at the same time. So you've got control over what you ship and what you don't ship. So if you notice a product you actually want to hold on to it for 2 or 3 weeks to let the penny unders sell out, you can do that with yours.
You can do it both ways. So in the website, in your client area, there's a little switch as well, and you can just switch that over to just get it sent as soon as it arrives. And just do whatever's necessary.
So how long does it take? So stuff arrives on like a Monday morning. How quickly would you get that on its way off to Amazon? Do you have like a week, or how long does it take in a prep centre for you?
Hopefully not a week. No.
I've never used one, so I'm not sure.
I aim for within 48 hours, and generally it's done within 24 hours.
Wow, that's really quick. That's really good. I might have to. That was one of the reasons why I prepped at home, because I turn around the same day. But you might be changing my mind. So it doesn't matter if someone's traveling, and as long as they've got access to a laptop, that's all they need to use your prep center.
That's it. They can just switch their user accounts into, like, as you might want to call it, gone mode. I'm away. Just deal with it. However, just it comes in, ship it straight out again, and then you just build on the fly. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you said you've got like a monthly. We have to come down to price. We're going to have to discuss how much things cost. And so you can do a monthly pay as you go, you said, and a free monthly thing. So I didn't really explain. Maybe you can explain.
Yeah, so you can, I've got 3 different tiers. You can either pay nothing per month, or £45 per month, or £95 per month. It is a little bit more than some other prep centers who charge a monthly fee, but I'm offering a bit more as well. So like I said, if you've got a professional account, you can set me up with some user access, and your shipments are fully managed.
Wow. So all I need to do is give you Seller Central, and you did deal with it all.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
So all you need to do is either give us the instructions through the website to, select these items, prepare that shipment. Or if you're just one of the customers who like to just have the shipments created whenever they land, within 24 hours after they land, fine. But to do that, I or your accounts manager needs to have access to your Seller Central account. Otherwise, you may be paying someone like Midlands, someone really cheap. Whereas you get the stuff delivered to them, they inspect it, fair enough, tell you what's arrived, and then you tell them, all right, well, box it all up, prepare it for shipments. They then tell you, okay, we've put these items into these boxes that have these dimensions and weigh this much. You've got to then create a shipping plan, and then really email the box labels back to themselves. A lot of back and forwarding and a lot of management on your part. So I want to take that off your hands altogether. It's very faffy and messy. So it's better that just one person deals with everything rather than
So
two
so
people.
I could literally, so I could pay like 95 quid a month as like a flat fee,
Yeah.
and then I can order. It arrives. You check it in. It arrives with you. I don't even need to tell you
Yep.
what's coming. You just scan
Yep.
it. Tell me if
Yep.
I'm doing this right. So you just scan it.
Mm-hmm.
You say what's missing, what isn't missing. You as long as the listings are created, you put it on Seller Central, and then 48 hours later, it's on its way to Amazon, whether it's a box or pallet.
There are obviously some prep fees included, but the
Yes.
more you pay per month, the less those prep fees per item are.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So, for
I'll
example,
talk about the fees in a sec. I just know the process of it is literally that simple.
it's completely off your hands. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's worth 95 quid of anyone's money. Obviously, you have to pay for the items after, but I would be very tempted to pay 95 quid a month just to not have, because creating the listing, not creating the listings, but putting it all in Seller Central is a task in and of itself. Actually,
there is one little catch if you want to prep with pallets. If you're sending pallets and you want to send pallets, there is one little catch, is that you need to be that sort of high tier customer who pays £95 per month, just because of the sheer amount of management there is in dealing with shipping pallets, because the bill of landing, delivery schedules, liaising with Amazon themselves to you got to arrange with your courier when to arrive at Amazon. You can't just rock up whenever you like. So this is part of the reason why UPS is Amazon's preferred courier, because they do all of that behind the scenes. So it's part of what you're paying for.
When Amazon, when you are sitting waiting for something to check in for ages, that's because on a lorry, because it's not got its slot. Is it like
quite often?
Is it like a runway where everyone's got their slot to take off?
It's a big yard, in my understanding. Actually, it's only since I started dealing with pallets myself, and actually I've got to know somebody who actually drives for UPS and delivers lorries to Amazon. Apparently there's a big delivery yard. It's a matter of queuing. So even if you've got your delivery schedule all arranged with Amazon, they've told you within which hour window to be there, precisely when to be there. Quite often the lorry drivers will rock up and they'll sit in like a 3-hour long queue, and only to get there saying that they've missed the delivery window, they'll have to come back tomorrow. It seems a nightmare.
Oh wow. That's nuts. So okay, so obviously, so you can either have a monthly subscription of 0, 45 or 95, depending on how much work it is and what size you are.
Depends how much you're shipping, really. Yeah.
So what are the price? Obviously, roughly, what are the prices for an item? So if I've got 10 items that don't need any polybagging or bubble wrapping, just like 10 boxes of tea or something or whatever, what sort of price am I looking at per item? Because obviously that's in addition to your monthly subscription choice, I imagine.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it very much depends upon what price plan you're on, of course, as to how much you're paying in your actual prep fees, per unit. And I try to keep this as simple as possible, because simplicity is a core value of my company.
I look at the list and it's, if you pay this, you get that, and I just think
some prep centers websites you go to, and they've got like this massive maze of prices, and it's impossible to work out what you're going to be paying for any given item. So what I've done is try and condense as many of the different fees, that are pretty much standard on every item. Say, for example, they've all got to go into a box. If you're a retail arbitrager, they've all got to go into a box. And so you've got to factor in the cost of a cardboard box and the cost of consumables like packing and taping, all that sort of thing. So some prep companies, they'll factor in every aspect of that prep, but I just try to keep things simple. Okay. So even if basically there's generally a flat rate, a few pence to pay per item. So if you're on my most popular plans, the middle one, the £45 per month, and if you're on that one, you're paying 45 pence per unit as a flat rate. Anything additional to that, like polybagging,
it doesn't need polybagging. That's just that's like a toy that can just go in like a Lego box. So
I mean, if it's 45 pence per unit, it means it's just taken out of the box, sent to me by the courier. It all gets sort of consolidated into bigger boxes, keeping within 15 kilograms as a general rule, isn't it? So there's the cost of doing all that.
Or is that
no. So this is the little flat rate fee of 45 pence. It includes things like the cardboard box and consumables and just general handling.
So what about people who bundle stuff? What about people who
so I've got a price guide on the website. I'll quickly see if I can show it to you here.
I don't think we're set for a screen share, I'm afraid.
No, that's fine. I can still do that.
Sorry.
No, I can do it. Just give me a moment. There we are. I'll just quickly show you this is my website, and here's where you see. So up here, I've got the different price plans, and here's like a little chart. I've tried to keep this as simple as possible. But say, for example, if you're on the expert plan, which is the middle tier, £45 per month, you pay a flat rate fee of 45 pence per item. And if you're doing like retail arbitrage, if you find a way to send me that sort of thing and there's labels to remove, there's your fee for that. If you want to put an FNSKU label on the product, which can often sometimes be the case, there's a 20p fee for any additional labeling, like suffocation labels on poly bags. It's sometimes more cost effective to just simply put the suffocation warning label on rather than put it into a new poly bag with its own printing on it.
Yeah, some put in poly bags, don't they? And then you just got to undo the poly bag and you're like, drives you nuts.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of toys coming through the warehouse at the moment, and some of these are like plush, like cuddly toys, and they come already in poly bags, and they don't have the suffocation warnings on them. So I've got to print off some labels and put those labels on, and just paying for the extra 5 pence per label. It's far more cost effective for you than getting getting the whole thing rebagged, which would cost you 10 pence. But so there's your fees there. So if this is the price plan you're on, that's what it's going to cost you to do.
And what do you do? Do you bill someone at the end of the month?
Sorry, say that again.
You bill at the end of the month, or do you pay in advance? Or
it's paid through the website. So like I explained, when you're basically going through the website and on your client area and selecting items that you want to have prepped and shipped off, you'll see next to those, it's like a shop. Like I say, you select your items, and this item must be bought with this, for example, a poly bag, and this item must be bought with this. So I identify for you what prep is required for the item.
Well.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of going down the list. And
I think you are hugely, I mean, I might be wrong, but it sounds like you're offering a really, really unique hands-off personal service. Because if I was going to outsource my prep, I will outsource my prep in 5 years. We're doing it from home until our youngest child goes to uni, and then we are living on a houseboat, and I would sink it with the amount of stuff I buy. So we're going to outsource in 5 years. But if I did it, I would absolutely do it to someone where I didn't have to do anything except buy the products.
That's the idea.
I want someone really saying, should I poly bag? Do you want to store it for a day? I just want to pass it and go. And that sounds like your service. That sounds perfect.
To me, that's the idea of a prep service, is to just make it completely hands off for you. I don't see the point in the prep service if you've got to do any work at all yourself. You may as well hire your own space and put your own staff in there. That's the way I see
what happens? So let's say I've used your service and Amazon, you've sent 12 and Amazon have managed to miraculously count 11. What happens in that situation? Because I imagine that's quite often where Amazon miscount and stuff's missing. Do you photograph stuff? Or I've heard people suggest you photograph things. How would you deal with something where there's an anomaly?
Well, everything is counted, like I say, when it gets in. So even if you've got like a whole pallet which just consists of one SKU, but there's like 1,000 of them, each individual one will get scanned. And so in my experience, sometimes there might be like an erroneous product in there. Like you've ordered all of the same SKU and they're all in green, but there's one in there that's red and it's got a different barcode number. A lot of the cases that would get missed. You would just open the boxes, go blah, 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 blah. Yeah, there's 20 in there. Open another one, go blah, blah. Yeah, there's 20 in there. Yeah. So my staff it's someone's job specifically just to unpack the boxes and beep every single barcode in there.
So my point, that's really awesome, because I would probably just look and nod and go. my point was more, once an item's shipments arrived with Amazon, and Amazon are the ones who can't count. Yeah. How do we go about when you've got to do your reconciliation with your
so that's half of the reason why I create a report for you when the shipment arrives at my warehouse, is so that it can easily be compared to what other people are trying to say. So I like to think that my system is pretty foolproof. When receiving a delivery, every barcode gets scanned and any damage gets documented and a full report gets made. I would share one with you now, but
no, that's all right.
Customers details on it and stuff.
So basically, so obviously that's down to the seller to see that, because it's closed 14 days after it arrives, and that's that your part's done at that point. So if something was missing, we'd just give you a shout, or we've got access to our own reports, and you just send that to Amazon, and Amazon hopefully will just tick and reimburse you.
We could help you deal with Amazon with respect to something like this. Yeah, happy to do that. If there's any reconciliation issues, any inventory issues, if they're saying that, oh, we've only received 10 of these when you've sent 20,
Yeah.
we're happy to try and sort you out. Yeah.
Oh wow. And okay, and have you got insurance and stuff? So if something
Oh,
happens,
absolutely, yeah.
okay.
I've got a I've got a substantial amount of stock in the warehouse at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
Okay.
insured for
I
it.
was more
Yeah.
thinking a jar of Marmite smashed. I wasn't thinking like, yeah, of course, big stuff. But yeah, okay. So basically, you've got every base covered for someone
Yeah.
who wants to outsource their prep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, in terms of insurance, insurance. I'm covered from the moment it arrives at the warehouse, and then up until the moment it arrives at Amazon. So even while it's with the courier, it's under my insurance.
Oh wow.
They'll have their own insurance anyway, but I just want to remove one extra step you may have to go through in order to get any sort of payback from whatever may happen in the
So
courier's lorry.
you kind of strike me, like, tell me if I'm wrong, but you strike me as kind of like a proper family business, like a real kind of caring, like all-in-one service. Does that make sense? You're not like a franchise, or you're not doing prep alongside something else. This is your whole business. This is what you focus on. This is what you love. Most of us can't wait to get rid of our prep, but this is, yeah, that's really awesome.
It's actually, it's funny you brought this up, because through being an Amazon seller myself, like I say, it's the one thing I've enjoyed most about being an Amazon seller, is developing the systems and developing the efficiency from getting something into the warehouse and getting it to the Amazon warehouse. I've probably gained more fulfillment from doing that and for other people than what I have got from just simply selling on Amazon myself. I've never actually enjoyed sourcing products and negotiating prices and just arranging all that stuff. I mean, I still do it, of course, but I do a bit of retail arbitrage only because I enjoy it, and I've got some replenishables going on from distributors. But in terms of trying to source new products to sell,
that's made
I've
me
never
think of a
enjoyed it
really
as
important
much. Yeah.
question. Sorry, that's made me think of a really, really important question. How do I know my delivery sheets and the stuff I've spent weeks and months secretly sourcing? How do I know that that's in safe hands and that it's not going to accidentally kind of be spread about the stuff I buy and my stuff? Do you keep data? You've got data protection as much as insurance?
Oh yeah. I see what you're getting at now. Yeah.
Because some of my sources I have spent a very, very, very long time looking for and nurturing, and they're very secret to me. And I would worry about random bits of paper.
I've heard this come up a lot when people are asking about prep centers on the groups and stuff. It is a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
All I can really say is, I deal with me, you deal with you.
Yeah.
I'm not I'm in the game of providing a prep service. I'm not in the game of stealing ideas and stealing products from people and opening a box and go, I never thought of selling that. I've got to go out there and try and find that.
It's a simple thing, but I think people just need the reassurance just to know that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I know as an Amazon seller myself, this is one thing I'd be concerned about, especially if it's a product that I've gone to the far ends of the earth to try and source for as little money as possible. And I put loads of time and effort into it just to send it to a prep center, which is ran by other Amazon sellers who go, that's interesting.
Talk and talk. So I say to people, talk about something if you want to. I've got thousands of my own products. I'm not going to steal yours, but people still need to hear that to feel secure about their stuff.
All I can say is that I've got no interest in stealing your intellectual property or your ideas or whatever it is you're sourcing. If it turns out that you send me this thing to prep that you've spent like a year putting together and a ton of money on, and then a month later find out that I'm selling exactly the same thing, feel free to sue me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to be fair, you're a prep guy who doesn't like selling, so I'd feel really safe sending my stuff to you because I don't like prep and you don't like selling, so it's a perfect combination. No, that's really good. So, okay, so how would people find you if they wanted to? How would people connect with you? Can we connect through Facebook and
Facebook or apexfba.com? So either go to apexfba.com or just go to Apex FBA Services on Facebook. I'm sure a link will be dropped in to the video description. It's dead easy to find. I think even if you just Google Apex FBA Services or something like that, or It's not quite up there in the rankings just yet, obviously, but
I think your website's brand new,
hopefully I'll be on the first page pretty soon if you just type in FBA Prep Center.
Website's brand new, isn't it? It's a brand new all singing and dancing website. In fact, actually, as we're filming this, it's not even live yet. It goes live in a couple of days.
God, a day or two, hopefully. Yeah, it's been in the making for about 5 months now. So it's not just a website. It's because you've got your own client area to log into and your own little inventory to manage. It's a whole IT system. It's got a web interface. That's all. So it's a bit more than just a website.
And I think that's a massive sign as to how invested you are in this. If you were just going to tosh out people's boxes and boot them around a warehouse, you wouldn't invest probably what sounds like a significant sum and a lot of time in a website that's got all these features. It's a real sign that you care. I think you're a really kind of genuine caring service that wants to wrap everything all up. So when I am ready to prep, I will be knocking at your prep center. Save a space for me, just not quite yet. I'm not. And actually, that's a really important thing to say. So prep is really vital to some people. Some people couldn't run their business without it, but you can run your business without it. So it's a choice. It's not something you should feel pressured into doing, but it's not something you should feel scared of doing either. It will happen to most sellers at the right time.
Absolutely. It's each to our own. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. So I'm doing my. I know I couldn't sell on the scale I am without some sort of prep room or prep service.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm using my own. But I know plenty of people like yourself who are turning over
about 1,000 items a week
sums. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I like my house to be a house. I'm a what you could call a minimalist. I don't like even just like a coaster being unused.
Oh wow.
I like to put it away afterwards. I don't like any clutter, so I definitely don't like a lot of boxes lying around. But no. That's me. I do me, you do you. So.
And that's the perfect way to do it. There are people who from day one will want it prepped and outsourced, and there are people who will want to maybe hit a certain amount of profit before you start outsourcing. Are you quite honest and general people? Will you say to people, look, actually, you're only sending me in half a box a month. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you quite kind of straight with people?
Well, I like to think I've tailored the price plan to fit around all different types of sellers. I'm working with one seller right now who has only just started selling on Amazon. Actually, just since he found me. It's a funny story, actually. I went to pick something up that I found on Facebook Marketplace. It was a bunch of like these electronic radiator valves, and he was selling them on Facebook Marketplace. And when I arrived, I was scanning the barcodes using the Amazon seller app, and he's like, "What are you doing there?" "Oh, I'm an Amazon seller." We just got into a whole conversation about it, and long story short, he ended up having a tour of the warehouse, and he's like, I've got to get on this Amazon thing. So now he's selling. I'm going to obviously tell you what he's selling, but he's selling a small handful of goods. It's not very much. He's very much starting at the bottom of the scale, but he's pushing everything through my prep service and paying minimal fees. And he's just starting with the end in sight. Really, he's starting with scale in mind. So if you want to use a prep service, if you are just beginning. It may be if you want to scale up to something big, it may be in your best interest just to start using a prep service straight away.
Maybe if you've got young children, both you and anyone else in the house works full time. If there's not enough space or time and the budget to go with it, that's kind of where I think it's.
I think that's what puts a lot of people off selling on Amazon. Is becoming an Amazon seller is like, oh, I haven't got the time, or I haven't got the space, I haven't got the means to do this and do that. And prep service.
There's a friend of mine, and I don't think she wants to be named, but she said using a prep center is the best thing she ever did, because she's got 2 young children, and it's just completely changed how she approaches her business, and she's so much happier knowing she can source and it's all dealt with. It's something that really kind of took a weight off.
I can see that. I mean, personally, the prep service isn't the only business I run, and whichever business I'm involved in, it's always a matter of identifying which tasks are producing money and which tasks are draining money, which tasks are giving you time.
People do enjoy their prep. On a Sunday night, they'll sit there with a film and they'll enjoy their prep. So people are...
Quite frankly, I used to enjoy it. I still do. I still get involved in the prep room and get my hands dirty, get the tape going out. Yeah, I still enjoy it. It's crazy, but I still enjoy it. I don't know why, but
you're the first person who openly likes prep.
It's business that I like, and to be honest, I see the systems working. I've got a very fluid thing going on. It's all very efficient, and I like what I've built, and so I like being part of it. That's all.
Yeah, that comes across. You're very genuine. You're very enthusiastic about it, and that comes across. That's a really honest and good point to have. So perfect. So I think that's probably everything I need to mention. I'm going to tag Jayson in this, so I'm sure if you've got any personal questions or you want to talk about your situation individually, I'm sure Jayson will be up for chatting. Maybe he can talk you through any questions or concerns that are slightly personal to your business. And I think we're gonna have a tour of your warehouse at some point, aren't we? We're gonna do another video, and you're gonna show us your warehouse and oh yeah, cool, okay. And
it might be a bit difficult, what with there being a lot of stock in there that belong to customers, and it may not be cool to show you the complete setup.
We'll work something out. We can plan out and see the site. We'll sort something out. But yeah, I think it's nice for you to see with us. So yeah, that's fine. Perfect, brilliant. So I'll tag Jayson in the comments below, and I'll tag your website. And you're in our Facebook group, the Amazon Knowledge Bank. So thank you so much for chatting to us this afternoon. Hopefully, I'm sure people will make contact with you, and I will definitely use your service when I'm ready. That's great. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.